It was 2 a.m. The rain was pouring heavily outside. Suddenly, an unknown number flashed on Zain's phone. He answered the call. There was only one voice on the other end. "Zain, what you did was wrong. Now it's your turn." The call disconnected. Zain's hand began to tremble. He slowly placed the phone beside him. Then suddenly, the doorbell rang. Part 1, The First Shock. 1 to 3:30. Zain was a 28-year-old software engineer living in Gulberg, Lahore. That evening, he had left the office late. While driving home, he witnessed an accident. A car had hit a young woman, and the driver immediately fled the scene. Zain saw everything. But instead of helping her or calling the police, he simply drove away. He told himself that someone else would help. But from that night onward, something strange began happening. Every day, Zain received a call from an unknown number. And every time, the same voice said, "What you did was wrong. Now it's your turn." At first, Zain ignored the calls. But then they started happening every night. And whenever the phone rang, the doorbell of his house would ring too. Yet whenever Zain opened the door, there was nobody there. Slowly, fear began taking over his life. Part 2, The Secret is revealed. 3:30 to 7 o'clock. One day, Zain decided to trace the unknown calls. Being a software engineer, he knew how to investigate digital clues. When the next call came, he checked the location. The result appeared on his screen: Old Anarkali, Lahore. Zain immediately went there. The streets were old and almost deserted. As he walked through the narrow lanes, he noticed an abandoned-looking building. Something caught his attention. A photograph was pinned outside the building. Zain froze. It was the same girl he had seen during the accident. Under her photograph were the words, "Missing for 3 months." Zain's heart started pounding. Was she really the same girl? Before he could think any further, his phone vibrated. A message appeared: "You didn't just see what happened, you hid it." Zain became terrified. He was about to call the police when another thought struck him. He checked the CCTV cameras outside his house. The footage showed something horrifying. For the past 3 nights, at exactly 2 a.m., a black car had been parked outside his house. And every night, the driver was staring directly at his house. Part 3, The Threat and the Truth. 7 to 11 o'clock. The next morning, Zain went to work. But he couldn't concentrate. His mind was still trapped in everything that had happened. That afternoon, his boss called him into his office. "Zain, there are some serious errors in your project. The client has complained." Zain checked the files. Everything looked normal. Then he noticed something strange. A new folder had appeared on his computer. Its name was Truth. Zain opened it. Inside was a video. His heart stopped. The same girl from the accident appeared on the screen. She was alive. But she was being held somewhere. She looked directly into the camera and said, "If you don't tell the truth, I will die, and you will be blamed for my murder." Zain stared at the screen in disbelief. This wasn't a random threat. Someone knew what he had seen. Someone had been watching him. He replayed the video. Then he noticed something in the background. The sound of heavy machinery. Metal hitting metal. And then a voice said, "The package is ready." Zain immediately began searching for factories in the area. One location caught his attention: Shalimar Industrial Area. Without wasting another second, he went there. He entered the factory. The place was almost empty. Then he saw it. The same black car. And sitting inside it, was the driver. The man slowly turned towards Zain. And smiled. Part 4, The Twist 11 to 1400 hours. The man stepped out of the car. Zain. Zain stared at him. The man continued, "You thought I was the driver who ran away after the accident." He smiled. "I'm not. I'm her brother." Zain couldn't speak. The man looked at him with anger. "You saw my sister that night. You could have helped her. You could have called the police. But you didn't. You protected your job. You protected your reputation. But you forgot about one thing. She was a human being." Zain lowered his head. "I'm sorry." The man stared at him. Then he said, "Sorry isn't enough." He stepped closer. "Now it's your turn." Suddenly, Zain's phone rang. It was his mother. He answered. His mother's voice was shaking. "Beta, come home quickly." "Why?" "There are police officers here." Zain's heart dropped. His mother continued, "They're saying you murdered someone." The call ended. Zain finally understood. The girl was dead. And someone had carefully planned everything, to make Zain look like the murderer. Final scene 1400 hours to 1500 hours. Zain ran out of the factory. But the moment he stepped outside, police officers were waiting for him. He stopped. Slowly, he raised his hands. He looked directly toward the camera. The screen suddenly turned black. For a few seconds, there was complete silence. Then a final voice whispered, "There is always a price for hiding the truth." The end.